Good evening and welcome to the Sunday live show where we're going to break down the market, see what's going to be popping this week. And I believe that we're going to have a bunch of them popping. And my apologies. I thought I made the link for the show and realized I was sitting there like, wait a second, I don't even have a link up. So my apologies for that. I'm sure more people will be hopping on. And here we go. Let's get into it and get cruising through the Sunday night. It was a crazy day for sports. If you guys were watching that Phils and Mets game today, that was a heck of a baseball game if you like baseball. And here we go. Let's look at the stock market. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. I hope everyone had a great weekend. They go by super fast. And here we are with Sunday night, and I'm telling you, the market closed pretty green on Friday, and it was looking good. Everything looked like it was curling back up just like we wanted it to. So let's roll through this market and see what we're looking at. So here we go. Let's start off with MLGO and get cruising through here. It was down 3 cents and then down a few more on Friday in the after hours to 31, a little under 32 cents there. But I'll tell you what, it ran up on Thursday. We know that to 42, pulled back. And I think this week it could be getting set up to be running a little higher. That 20 is coming to curl back up. It's at the 25 cent area. So we'll watch for a little pullback there. It did come down to that 23 and a half area. So it did come down kind of close to it. Like I said, it's at 25 there. Yeah. And this came down. That didn't come down there. It was a 28. I don't know what that's talking about. Yeah, it came down to like 28, not 23. Definitely 28. It comes down to 25 and a half there. That's where the 20 is, but I don't think it's going to come all the way down. Probably in the 27s. It's at the 31. So watch for MLGO to maybe pull back in the morning, but get set up to try to run even higher than it did on Thursday. So we're going to watch that in the morning. It's been setting up. We're going to see how these China stocks are setting up as well because they were cruising last week, and let's see if they want to continue to. So TANH, that's another one, a China stock, household and personal products. And let's see, it was down 2 cents, up a little bit in the after hours, and just sitting in that right spot. It did jump up a little bit on Wednesday, Thursday. It was just kind of pulling back. Didn't look bad. Friday, it just kind of pulled back a hair. Again, not looking bad. The 20s crossing right through to 50 right now. And I think this one's going to get set up as well to try to move a little bit more. I'm going to bring this up on my chart just to get a better idea. But yeah, it just kind of went flat and was pulling back there. Have our resistance, our support line at 17 right there. And yeah, it's not looking bad at all. And that's TANH. So I'm going to look at the China stocks in the morning, see how they're setting up, if they're still going to be running or not. So they are two of them. And here's SMSI. We talked about this last week, and I said it was going to get running and probably get higher than its high was in 148. Well, it ran up the other day to 118. It's looking good off of that 50. It's curling up. It should get up into the top right there. I would look at SMSI in the morning, guys, for a little bit of a mover there because it could be cruising in the morning, and you could have that one on the web bull having some momentum there after Friday's momentum. So there you go with SMSI. That's one we were early on. HRYU. That was one we looked at a while ago, and then I kept writing it wrong, but we were looking at it, HRYU, and it did. It ran up a little bit, would pull back, and it's still up, not looking bad. And your 20 and 50 are just meeting, and it had that kind of weird look on Friday, but nothing crazy. Has that hard support, and I'm telling you, this thing wants to get cruising pretty soon. I have a feeling it wants to roll back up. I'm just going to look at it on the other charts real quick. HRYU, it looks good there, and HRYU. Looks pretty good right there, I must say. Yeah, it looks nice right there. Support 23. It's at 26 and it's moving. So I would say HRYU, watch for this one. That's a South Korean one. And a lot of them Asian ones were really starting to set up last week and get moving there. So let's look at VCIG. Oh, VCIG. What did I just type in? VCIG. There we go. VCI Global. That was down 2%, up a little more in the after hours, and another one just setting up in the perfect spot for this week. It jumped down underneath the 20 there, and the 20's at 0.1395, and this is at 0.1335 or 1.1338 in the when it closed, and 0.1355 in the after hour. So it's right there, right underneath of it. And as this thing starts to curl up, it looks like it wants to pull it with it. And VCIG should be looking good this week as well. So many of them looking like they want to just get running. Obviously, we have to see how the market sets up tomorrow morning. Don't forget, though, tomorrow is October 7th. It is that 1 year anniversary. Of that horrible massacre in Israel that kind of started all this craziness off. So I would not be surprised if Israel does something tomorrow. So we're definitely going to be on alert for that, and keep our eyes open and be alert, obviously, as always, in our own country, because you never know what's going to go on. Crazy things happen, and we'll run through our aerospace and defense, and we'll also do Israel's aerospace and defense as well. It is on the list already. So I put that on there. Let's look at Max and MAXN. And here we go. This one was just kind of flat. I remember looking at it Friday, just a little flat, but right in the right spot there. And again, the 20 is literally right where that it crossed through it, and basically right where it closed is right where the 20 is at 0.0841. I mean, it's right there. And then it went up a little bit in the after hours. So MAXN, another one, just needs to start curling up. You can see it flat there, but boom, it can curl up real easy and get moving. I'll check it out on here, see if it looks any different. Nothing bad right there. MAXN. Yeah, no, that looks good to me, I would say. So that's just another one looking good. And all these ones we were looking at before, they've been jumping around. And again, I think we have a little bit of a week that's going to be moving. And what are we, a month out from an election? And you're going to see these things cranking. And I think you kind of know what's going to happen. I guess what Harris got stuck saying, what, 32 days yesterday when her teleprompter broke. So that's just reminded me of how many days. So yeah, today would basically be a month. I don't know exactly the day. Is it the 5th or the 6th? It's right around there, the election in November. So I know it's just about a month out, and I just kind of remembered that clip real quick. So yeah, we're definitely a month out. If that was yesterday, 32 days. And so there you go. EJH, let's look at it. Down 2 cents to a dollar and down to 99 and a half in the after hours. When did that one split? I remember the 24th of September, and just kind of looks like it wants to pull back a little bit tomorrow. So we'll have to take a look at that. Let me see it on mine. That's EJH, and yeah, I'll take a look at this one in the morning as well, just to get a better look at it. It looks like it wants to pull back a hair, and I'm not saying it wants to go real bad, but just maybe a little bit of pullback and then get set up. But we'll take a look at that in the morning. It's just got like a weird look where it could pull back. I don't think it's going to run real quick tomorrow, so I'll definitely take a peek at that one and mark that. WTO. Let's look at that. We picked the day it was going to run, and obviously it curled through. And another one, that example where they curl through and they continuously just cruise down. We knew the day it was going to pop up, and it was right there before it was crossing over. And now the 20 is back at 59. This is at 42, and I think this one has to wait. Could be basing out down here finally at that 42 cent area. Maybe it gets a little lower. It got down to 42 exactly. Yeah, 42. And so that could be trying to make a base. We'll see. But we'll keep our eye on WTO, because this will be one of them ones that gets cruising probably in a week or two as that 20 comes down for it. So that one we'll just keep an eye on. Let's look at our HOLO here, HOLO, and see what HOLO is doing. It was coming down. It obviously ran up last week. We know that. And it's pulling back there, and it looks like it's going to get pushed down a little bit It's going to have to come back to that line or that bottom there. So you're going to see it come back into the low 20s again. It's at 24. What did it run up to like 40 something, 40, almost 47 cents. And it's back down to under 25. So that's HOLO. And it looks like it's going to pull back a little bit more. And we'll see if it wants to either reverse split, do something, or we'll try to catch it on the next pop. So that'll be HOLO, and we'll keep an eye on it because we just enjoy that one. NDRA, let's look at that. It was up a little bit, down more in the after hours there, but just trying to get out of the basement a little bit. The 20 you have coming down at 22 cents. This one's at 20. It looks good. I know last week we were looking at it. It's trying to set up. I think it did base out there. The bottom was probably like that 19.5 cents down that area right there. And it is. It's trying to curl up right here, trying to get moving. NDRA, I think, is going to be a winner this week. So keep an eye on that, guys, in the morning. NDRA, it looks like it wants to try to get moving there. So I'll keep an eye on that in the morning as well. CURR, that was up a penny. And this is that one that curled through. It's right about there. I think this one kind of bottomed out on Thursday as well. Its low was what, 224. The other day, its low is 229. And the 20's coming down for it. It's at 265. This is sitting at 231. I think it has a little bit of time. It's trying to curl up, probably stay in that basement for a little bit longer. And then CURR will get set up. So we'll keep an eye on this probably for, that's weird. Doesn't even come up on there. Huh. Didn't even come up on. Oh yeah, I think I remember that from last time. But yeah, just a little pullback right there. So we'll keep an eye on it and wait for it to get set up and completely ready for it to run. And that's CURR, and we've been looking at that as well. Let's look at this SYRS because I'm telling you, $1.96. It was up 2 cents, another two in the after hours. And guys, I'm telling you, it has something crazy going on here. It ran up last week. Remember, it got up to what, that 210, a little bit higher, I think, in the after hours. And it's back to that 198. Nothing bad, sitting right by the 20. And just, ooh, man, does it look crazy. And a lot of insider buying back September 12th. So yeah, just keep an eye on that SYRS because I'm telling you, has something going on. The 50s all the way up here at 267. It's sitting at 196. It had pulled back into the 185 area, I believe, 186, somewhere in that area, this past week. And yeah, 185, I think, was its low there. And yeah, it looks good there from 196, 198. It should get cruising SYRS. So keep your eyes on that one. FTFT, let's look at it. It was looking good last week. I know that. Was up 2.5%, up a little more in the after hours, and it's right there. It did, I remember now. It ran up here on which day was that? That was the 30th. And then kind of was pulling back a little bit as it got set up even better. And yeah, it's setting up. Should roll off that MACD. Let's see what it did in the after hours. FTFT. Yeah, that one's going to roll off. Look at this one tomorrow, guys. It should roll right off that MACD. As long as the market opens up halfway decent, this should be good where it's sitting. So FTFT not looking bad for tomorrow. So keep your eye on that. RMCF, that Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, just continuing to slowly go up another 2% at 204. I know we were watching it. Its lows were like 189, could have been even lower at 182. I don't know exactly where, but we were watching it for a good week, probably even lower than that. We might have seen it in the 170s. I don't remember exactly when we started looking at it, but it's been over a week, maybe two. And yeah, it wants to run up there. And I'm telling you, it's got 23,000 in volume. Remember when it had 11 and 2,000? Now it's starting to get a little bit of volume. So 23,000. Let's see if it gets picked up. Has that weird look on it, like it wants to do something. It wants to move. That's what it wants to do. So let's see what Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory is up to. That's at RMCF. And like I keep saying, their chocolate looks like it has something good going on. So keep an eye on that. URG. URG, your energy. URG, let's see what it's doing, up 3 cents. And this one's just gonna run, guys. So if you want to pick one that's gonna run tomorrow, you might want to look at URG because that one is going to run tomorrow. Sitting right there at 122, and it's a beauty. It ran what, 117 to 123 on Friday. And it just wants to pop off that MACD and get cruising there. So URG, keep your eyes on that if you want one that's going to be moving tomorrow, because that should definitely be moving. I would watch it. FAMI. FAMI, that's that FAMI, another China stock. It tried to move the other day on the 30th, and then it just kind of bounced around the second. It didn't look too bad on what's that, Wednesday it was. And now it is trying to get curled up, and it did. It just the 20 started moving. It's underneath of it, and FAMI might be one of them ones that gets moving. The 50s up at 36 cents, right under 37, and this is at 27, so a good 10-cent jump right there. So keep an eye on FAMI to try to move. And again, it's a China stock. We're not exactly sure what they're going to look like, but we will check out the yin and the yang, have them on the list as well. So we'll check that out shortly and we'll just continue. But again, we're going to look at the China stocks and FAMI. Keep an eye on it. We'll look at them, see what they want to do. But as of right now and close Friday, it looks like it wants to start running some more. So we will look at it. LIDR. That was at AI Inc. And it definitely ran up the other day a little bit. I remember somewhat on Thursday, it ran up to 120. It started to move, and this thing is sitting in the right spot too. I mean, just kind of had that nice pullback on Friday to 112, but it just touched that 20 and it's curling up. Never even got to the 50, which is at 121. And yeah, it wants to cruise up there. I know it did in the after hours, it did, or in the extended hours, it did get moving. But yeah, it wants to roll off and cruise some more. So LIDR, that's one to look at tomorrow. That one wants to run up a little bit. ONMD. Let's look at ONMD. One Med Net Corp, down a penny, up a penny, so that washed it. And just riding that basement, it curled through right there and wanted to pop out, but came back down. The 20's coming down to get it at 67. It's at 59. It's super bullish right there. Something going on here. Let me take a better look at this. ONMD. ONMD, ONMD. Yeah, just a little pullback there. Let me look and see what it did on the after hours on my end, but it's not looking bad so far. It's curled through, kind of pulled back, but looking nice right there. I like it. I mean, I can't say it looks bad. The only thing we want to wait for probably is the 20 to come down, but at any moment it can get to it. Um, Again, it's at 66 cents. This is at 60 cents. So it's only a 6 cents difference between where it's at. We've seen them gap up 4 or 5 cents with no problem. And as it comes down, it'll probably be a penny less tomorrow. So it wants to bounce off that bottom right there. It's crossed through. Everything looks pretty good and it is bullish. So we're going to definitely keep our eye on ONMD and look at that one. GOSS. Let's look at that. Gossamer bio. I remember we were looking at this last week. It's been moving up, and this thing's getting ready to blast off, as a matter of fact. And I know we were looking at it down here. Someone was mentioning it on Stock Twits. GOSS 20's coming up, setting up perfectly. GOSS biotech company. Not sure what they have going on here, but something good, and it is looking good. GOSS, keep your eye on that because it wants to go up. I would look at that one as well. So many of them are looking so good, I'm telling you. And we didn't even get to the big cappers yet. AIMD, let's look at that. Down 4 cents, up a little bit in the after hour. So this one did pull back. And this one looks like it might be pulling back at the moment anyway. Let me take a better look at AIMD. I mean, it don't look terrible on mine, but it's definitely pulling back. It's not the end of the world. I'd have to look at it in the morning to get a better look. AIMD. Yeah, I mean, it's still it has the potential to bounce. Let's put it that way. I'm not saying it's going to. It has potential, so I'm not going to say it's terrible. I just have to look at that one again. CUE. Let's look at that though. That was moving, and we looked at it the other day, couple days, and it jumped up significantly because we were looking at it like the low 69, Friday. It or Thursday it opened at 72, got up to 88, and then Friday it opened at 86 and got up to 123, and I think it even got higher in the extended hours. And this thing's going looks like it wants to continue to run in the top. Came down 3 cents in the after hours, but I'll tell you what, web bowlers, laptop travel, and your gang on the web bowl, which I'm gonna have to sign up for, especially for things like this. The CUE, hop on at 4 a.m. and if it's moving up more than that 116, you should have some momentum in and out. Boom, it should be an easy one, and it should get moving. So, it looks like it just kind of wants to run up in the top there for CUE. So I would definitely take a look at it first thing in the morning at that 4 a.m. Especially the web bowlers, obviously at 4 a.m. And because it looks like it, I don't think it'll last till 7, to be honest with you. I could be wrong, but it looks like it does want to run first thing in that morning. And we've seen so many of them run like that on the web bowl. We've even discussed it. Laptop Travel has posted the link that you can sign up, even get a few free shares, and he gets nothing. So it's not like he's promoting anything. And it's just a way that you can join the 4 a.m. gang. And again, if you're going to be trading penny stocks, you almost have to be on Web Bull right now. I mean, just look at TNON, ran from $4 to 125. I'm talking 125. And it happened at 4 a.m. and it was done down to $15 by 7 a.m. So it's just crazy. And I've been saying it for a while with the Web Bull and the penny stock. So and again, a lot of people that didn't have the opportunity before because you got, people have work schedules and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a change of schedule and it's super early, but I'll tell you what, they jump from 4 a.m. by 4:30, 5 a.m. They're done. They're coming back down. You can make a couple quick trades, and that's what I'm looking to do. And and yeah, you can probably go back to bed for an hour or two and then get back up. So you can play it like that or even an hour. So everybody can look into it. There's opportunities. And like I said, if you're going to be messing with these penny stocks, obviously you want to probably be on the web bull, especially if you want to lock in the full potentials that they have, because we've seen what they've been doing and you don't get the full potential on the bigger platforms. Unfortunately, it's just mayhem at 4 a.m. on web bull. So anyway, that's the penny stocks and web bull, and just my suggestion with that, and something to look at. EVA, let's look at that one. That one is setting up as well. That 20 just came down for it. It's crossed through. It's looking good. I want to see it on mine. And yeah, I would look at this one in the morning as well. It could be a nice little gapper, EVA. And again, Q could just be one of the momentum plays, and we nailed that one down because I had it all asterisked up and the day before, and bam, it ran right up there. Thursday night, we were looking at it, and by Friday morning, you hop on Webbull, you almost know exactly what's going to run. And especially, we've been pointing them out and even saying like, there's a nice little list of about 5 or 6. So if you're taking your notes, you can kind of have an idea of what to look at real early in the morning, and you know which ones, if they're starting to move, you can just jump on board and ride them up a little bit and hop off real fast and lock them in and call it a morning. And again, it's at 4 a.m. Most people are still sleeping and you're making money. I mean, we had people making literally yearly salaries that morning on TNON. I saw it. So it was pretty wild. So there you go. HYFM. Here's Hydro Farm Holdings. I remember we were looking at this before, and I remember it was pulling back there, and then it ran up. We stopped looking at it, but it did run up in September 4th, and now it looks like it really wants to try to move. I think it might try to make one of them hard curls because it curled through coming down on September 25th, and it tried to curl up again even on October 2nd, and now it's come down. It looks like it wants to make that hard curl going up now. So keep an eye on this one to try to gap up. Has hard resistance right there at 70 cents, but it's sitting at 68 and a half. So it's going to use that to spring off. And then it's going to try to get up to 80. So HYFM looks like it wants to try to bounce up there. So look for that one to try to bounce. BTCT, that's that BTC Digital. This is a China one. And we were looking at it, ran up literally, looked at it 2 days before it started to move. And oh, that's sweet. There you go. Laptop Travel just saw that come in. And Laptop Travel said between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. his average trade is 11 minutes. So there you go with that one. And so yeah, you can, like I said, you just want to be in and out really quick on these bad boys, especially at 4 a.m. They're sailing. I mean, it's pretty wild how fast these things move. And they move up fast and then they come down fast. But there's a ton of opportunity. You just have to be quick on it, and boom, you can lock them in. When you see it up as a profit, you lock it in and you put a big smile on your face. And if you do it 5 days a week or even three, you'll do really well. And I make the example, singles and doubles win games. Look at game one with the Mets and Phillies, just a sports example. What they have like 8 or 9 singles. They didn't hit anything more than a single, and they put a whooping on the Phils. So in game one, and it was all just really good batting and just easy base hits. But little base hits win games. I've always said it. The home runs come, and then you do hit them as you lock in them singles. You get zoned in, and then all of a sudden it looks like, and just like in baseball, these guys they get zoned in. That ball looks like a beach ball. You're smashing out of the park. That's how these stocks start looking. They start setting up. They just like they look like they're in slow mo. And you're like, well, that one's gonna pop. Boom, we're nailing that. We're nailing this. And I'm telling you, we're about to get into one of them cycles right now, and it's gonna be beautiful. You could probably tell by the last week. 2 weeks ago, we picked up on a pattern. Maybe 3 weeks ago at the very end, and then 2 weeks ago, I took the week and basically just kind of studied it. And last week, we probably hit 100% of them every single day. Some of the days we had multiple ones going. So yeah, we changed the list around a little bit and zeroed in. So here we go. BTCT, that was another one. I mean, I saw it again. I'm familiar with this one, saw the chart set up, and it ran the other day on what was it, the 26th there. It was like a week ago. It opened at 154, ran up to the 220. It's been pulling back, but this bad boy's getting set up too. It looks like it wants to try to roll off. I'm just gonna watch it tomorrow to make sure it does want to. Because again, I'm not exactly sure what these China stocks want to do, but they could still want to run, and this one has to do with Bitcoin and crypto is looking good. We'll obviously go through that as well. So there you go with BTCT. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, but that 20 is curling up on it. It's between the 20 and 50, and you have the hard line coming down on it, the hard channel at 172. It's going to spring up to that. It may take a few more days to get set up, but it's looking good again, and crypto is looking good, starting to turn back around. Made that base right around that 60, 62 for Bitcoin, and it wants to get cruising, but we'll go through that in a few minutes. Let's look at XPON. That one looks like it almost wants to get pushed down at the moment, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. It looked way better last week, and now it's down in the 4 cents, and it doesn't, I mean, the bottom looks like it was Wednesday at 4 cents exactly, and now it's at 0.0472, and that 20 is at 6 cents, so it has to get up 2 cents. It can do it easily. It just almost looks like that 20 wants to come down for it at this point, which could be this week. So we'll keep our eye on XPON, but it looks like it kind of wants to get set up tomorrow. Maybe it does bounce up on that 20. If it does, if you see XPON bounce up to like the 6 cent area, have keep an eye on it, because it's going to want to bounce right off of that spot right there. So that's XPON. And let's look at EasyGO. That Easy Go, that was moving last week and still setting up beautifully. It's crossed through, just flattened out. I could see that 20 just curling right up there. I mean, it's getting really set up. It's got the supports at 126, your resistance at 148. You're sitting at closed at 139, sitting at 133 in the after hours, which is basically like right under where the 20 is. So maybe it's just going to bounce between that little channel for like 2 or 3 days there as it sets up easy go. And this is another China one, but looks like it's really bullish. It wants to try to easy go up. And so we're going to keep our eye on that one for the next few days and see when it sets up. LAZR, we were looking at this, went up 6 cents and still wants to keep that momentum going. So watch for it to get up to like that dollar area. It's at 89 cents in the after hours, LAZR. And this is one we were looking at down here in the 89. Um, even cheaper, or was it down here 79? I'm sorry. That was its low on Thursday. So, and we saw it at 81, and again it's at 89, cruising up. It got up to 96, and it looks like it wants to get up to a dollar and move. And that's LAZR. That's good old Luminar Technologies. TMC, the metals company. This is one we looked at a while ago, and I'm telling you what, this thing has something crazy going on. And it's not surprising. Metals and mining and things of that nature, when you have wars going on, they like to run. So let's look at all the charts on TMC right here and see. Yeah, it's just flat there and just setting up to do something. So I want to watch this tomorrow because it's coming down to touch that line. And I'm telling you, the 20 and 50 are setting perfectly, and you have a weird look. Take a look at TMC also, web bowlers early in the morning there, and just see what it's doing. It's at 106, just kind of sitting flat is what it did. Let me look at mine, tell you. Oh yeah, 106 is what it opened at, and it closed at 104. Its low was 103, and its high was 107. So it just had a pretty tight trade. Did that the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday, but has that look like it wants to get cruising or do something. So if it's moving up, you know it's going to start flying. So there's another one for you web bowlers to look at in the morning. FC EL, right? Yeah, fuel cell. FCEL. That was down 2%, up just a hair. This one looks like it. Oh, could be just pulling back a little bit more. Has the your 50 and hard resistance are meeting up there. The 20's coming down, has the line underneath. Kind of looks like Thursday it wanted the bottom there, but I'm not exactly sure on that. Let me look. FCEL. I have to get a better look at this. Looks like it kind of wants to bottom out there. Um, I'm not convinced that it's ready to move up yet, so we'll just keep an eye on that one. FCEL. Yeah, I'm not sure that one wants to bounce just yet. It could be another few days or so before it really gets set up there. AUUD though, now that one is trying to curl up. I think that bottom was probably Wednesday, October 2nd at 55 cents right there. It's coming to hit that line tomorrow. It should get through. The 20 is right there at 73. This is at 62. And then you have the hard resistance at 79 coming down. Yeah, AUUD doesn't look bad at all. Let's look at it. I gotta see this. What did I just put in? AUUD. There we go. Yeah, I mean that thing's coming up to hit. I think this thing gets crossed through and starts actually moving. And that bottom was probably Wednesday there. So AUUD looks like it wants to go up. UCAR, let's look at UCAR. Remember this one? Wasn't this was a China company? I thought so. And it looks like it wants to try to do something there. It's setting up. It ran up last week. I did actually see it on the scanner, but we didn't look at it. October 1st, it got up to 752. It was nothing crazy. Um, and then it just pulled back. It's at 649 in the after hours here, but looking good, pulling back on the MACD, but everything else is setting up right there. Let me just see. No news for it. And let's just take a look. Wow, it's got some interesting looks there for sure. And yeah, I mean, looks like it wants to try to roll. What did it do there? October 4th, opened at 644, tie was 711. It closed at 7 there, is what it says on here. Yeah, this thing ran up in the after hours, and obviously isn't showing it um on the FinViz. So this one ran up after hours because I'm like looking at it and it's giving me that look like it should have popped up or wanted to, and it clearly did because mine's saying it's at $7 and this thing's saying it's down 15 cents. Let me make sure it's the right dates. That's the fourth. And this has got to be the fourth. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with mine and say because this thing looks super set up, and I'm going to have to assume that this thing is trying to pop off right there, UCAR. So keep a look at that one. And we were just looking at it. Well, not just looking at it. We had looked at it before. You can see it ran up pretty well. I think it might have split. Yeah, it split in April. So we weren't looking at it before that, obviously. So we weren't looking at it before the split. So we looked at it and it probably ran up and then it came back down. But it is looking good right there. UCAR. Someone asked me if I was still holding it, and but we might have to start looking at it again and check that one out for sure. And that is UCAR. BJDX. That Blue Jay Diagnostics is back in play, I think. Um 20's coming down for it at 14 cents. This is at 3. It ran in the basement. You know what this reminds me of? One of them ALLR type plays right there where it split way back here June 20th and it has that potential to really try to get cruising there. Let's see. It's 20, like I said, it's coming down to 14 and it's 50s at 25. And I have a feeling this is going to get moving this week. So we're going to keep our eye on BJDX. Keep your eye on that one as well. And we looked at that a few weeks ago. It just wasn't ready. Obviously, it pulled back. And like I say, it looked like its bottom was probably what, Thursday, Tuesday-ish. It was down under like 11 and a half cents right around there for BJDX. And now it's at that 13 and a half cent area. And it's looking pretty good. So we'll keep our eye on that one. And let's just take a look, see what anyone else wants to look at real quick. Um, CCTG, let's see that one. Let's see what that's up to. I remember we looked at that. That's at CCSC Technology International. The Hong Kong one seemed to want to be rolling. Laptop travel. This one looks like it's just pulling back though. It did cruise up the other day. Would it get up after hours? Let me see. CCTG. Oh wow, that one hooked up in the after hours and started to move. Like I said, I it looked like the Hong Kong plays were looking pretty good. So maybe Laptop Travel wants to throw a little list together there because I'm telling you, or we'll go through a few of them and we'll write this one down so I know to get how to get into them. CCTG. I'll write that down and then we can play the Hong Kongs. I can just open that up right there. And what do we have? We only have 3 pages, so what do we have? 60, about 60 of them. Yep, there's 60 of them, so I can cruise through 60, you know that. So we'll pull them up in a minute. I'll just leave that screen right there. And but yeah, CCTG did run up, I guess, last week. I remember we were looking at what day is that, the 30th? And but it looks like it's pulling back at the moment right there. So Shell 12, I think that might be pulling back. How about DDC? Let's look at that one. That's one we were looking at before as well. And another Hong Kong one I noticed was on Laptop Travel's down laptop lowdown list. Was trying to get moving. I we looked at it on Wednesday, Thursday, it pulled back Friday. It looked really good right there. Yeah, I think these Hong Kong ones try to move this week, to be honest. They might be the China stocks of this week. So keep your eye on DDC. That one looks really nice right there as well. So who asked about that one? I'm not sure. Oh, that was Shell 12 too. There you go. So yeah, DDC looking good. I'm telling you, the Hong Kong ones are looking decent. And we'll cruise through some of them bad boys. So let's just keep on cruising on our Sunday night live show and see what else is going to be popping here. Let's go through the Israeli aerospace and defense real quick. See how they look. GAUZ. There we go. It was up 33 cents and curling through, rolling up, and yeah, it went and jumped right up to the 20 right there, and it's setting up super bullish, I'll tell you that. So tomorrow could be some interesting things. Remember, I said Friday I would not hold anything over the weekend. It would be pretty risky when you have some conflicts like this going on, especially in the Middle East, and Israel's just on a mad tear. You don't know what they're gonna be doing. So all they're doing is handling business, it seems like, and nobody's hiding from them. That's for sure. They're just taking out everybody. I mean, they literally eliminated two entire terrorist groups. Every top official, they eliminated them all in less than a year from when they got attacked, and that anniversary will be tomorrow, the 7th. And yeah, they just went on a tear and just they handled business like nobody's ever seen before, and they're not finished yet. So we just have to keep our eyes open and see what's going on. But you can see people are afraid to retaliate. That's for sure. And I don't blame them because, like we said before, they will make you a parking lot the next morning. So I think everybody sees it now. We discussed it 2 or 3 months ago. I'm actually going to pull the clips because I know we talked about exactly them going into Lebanon and taking out Hezbollah. And we said this like 2 months ago. We were talking about it. And I know like Peninsula Life, Laptop Travel, and a few others were, we were discussing it. So I know a few of you probably do remember that conversation as well. And yeah, so that's just something else that we were talking about was going to happen. And boom, there you go. But let's keep cruising because that's GAUZ. And I'm telling you, that one's all set up. TATT, that's TAT Technologies. Oh my, is this one set up? It's pulling back right now. And I'm not saying tomorrow it can't fly up. Let's see what it did in the after hours because it looks like it might have went up. TATT. It didn't completely pull up yet, but that one could reverse real quick tomorrow and get cruising. It's sitting on the 20 and it is bullish as hell. It's just pulling down the MACD, but again, that isn't going to hold this thing back, that's for sure. So TATT could move at the drop of a hat if it has to. PRZO is at para zero. That was down 1%. Um at 71 cents, 70 cents. It had run up in the top the other day on October 1st, and it's just kind of pulling back. It looks like it's just kind of making room, though. Nothing great. I mean, it's sitting over to 200 is what it's doing, and the 20's coming up for it, and so is the 50. So this one's super bullish as well. It's almost making a base up here at 71. So we looked at this thing way back here in the 50s. So PRZO, that one is bullish as well. And ESLT is the other one we look at. And that was up 84 cents. It went down. Oh, yeah, it was a $200 stock. It was lower than that when we first started looking at it, I think. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's look at what it's doing now. It was down $1.94 in the after hours, but another one just setting up super bullish. I want to get a better look on mine, see what it did in the after hours here. Yeah, this thing looks like it wants to kind of bounce back up tomorrow. So this one looks like it actually wants to run. ESLT. Keep an eye on this one for a little momentum play in the morning because it looks like it wants to do something. And again, you just have a lot of stuff going on that these four would probably be interested in running. Now, from the Israeli aerospace and defense, let's go on the other side and go to the yin and the yang and see what China's doing now. That was up $5.09, up a little more. The yen we're talking about. And this thing just keeps running at the top. We're just waiting for it to come down. I'm curious if it wants to run up in the morning. As of Friday, it looked like it wanted to. Let's see what it closed like. Um, I mean, it's hard to say. It almost looks like that might be the top of it, but I would have to definitely look at that like first thing in the morning too, because it's just so hard to tell. We'll look at the yang, but I mean you're right there where they're gonna start reversing around, and that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if the China stocks are exactly ready yet. The yang came down another 30 cents, and it was down to what 276. It's getting lower and lower there. And let me just look what it did on the after hours here. and it's at 275. And again, it has that look like it could be its bottom. Not guaranteeing it, but it's right around there. So probably this week they're going to want to try to change course, and the Yang should try to start bouncing unless they're just totally screwed. Now the 20s all the way up at six something, and it's understandable because it took such a big dip. And we're talking now, we're more or less looking at RSI, MACDs, and curling up on these bad boys because of what kind of dip they took. They're ETFs. I mean, they basically don't control anything, but they show you China's market for the most part. So for this thing to be down in the twos, it's is usually unusual. It usually trades, I would say, between like even say like a seven would be a low and all the way up into the 18s. I mean, it gets down into the nines, but it's generally you don't see it in the twos. Let's put it that way. It's real cheap down here. So I would assume that it's going to try to reverse a little bit and try to get up, and there'll be good options for sure. So we're going to be looking at them as well, and that's the yin and the yang. And let's look at PEGY because that was one we nailed in the last week. And yeah, Thursday that one ran up and we knew it. I mean, we looked at it, knew it was pulling back, and well, just knew it was about to pop. It pulled back 3 days and boom, it went nuts. So it is just still in the basement there, and it hit I mean, I guess it did hit a wall. It hit a resistance. I mean, a 20 was coming for it. So now we're just gonna have to wait a few days, let the 20 come for it, and pick it up and make it really move. So. That's what you're going to look at on Peggy, PEGY. So that's what she's going to do. GWAV was that Green Wave Technology Solutions Waste Management. Let's see what they're up to because it looked pretty good to me. It looked like it had bottomed out the other day on what, Wednesday-ish? Yeah, Wednesday at 37 cents. And it looks like it wants to get up to that let's just say it gets up to like 41 cents and it's going to be cruising off of that 20. So look for this one in the morning as well. This is one that we looked at before and caught my eye the other day. It was setting up, looking good, and I thought maybe you guys would like it. So yeah, keep an eye on GWAV because that one is setting up and looking good again. LUXH, Lux Urban Hotels. This is one we looked at and started running up finally, and now it's trying to set up. I believe it's going to try to roll off that MACD again and get back up to like the 8 cent mark. It's in the sevens, and so I mean you're not going to see anything that crazy, I don't think, but it will move. And 1 penny on one of these is a significant amount, but just make sure it wants to move. It's sitting on the 20 and the 50s at 8 cents, like eight and a half. So I'll just take a look at this in the morning. It on Friday it was kind of pulling back a little bit, but it was sitting right there. So could just be bouncing in between there as it sets up and then it will run. So I think you have a few days to look at LUXH. Let's see, QS, that's quantum space. That was up 15 cents. This is at 564, huh? I believe this was like a really expensive. Yeah, I was gonna say it was in like the 13s, the 10s, 14, 22, $40 before, and this one isn't splitting ever. This one has earnings and that's all they show. So QS is pretty cheap down here. Quantum Scape, sorry, not Quantum Space, Quantum Scape is pretty cheap down here. And let's see, it looks like it was curling up. It wants to make that hard curl. I think this one wants to cruise, to be honest with you, QS. So I would take a look at this one in the morning as well. Let me look at it. Yeah, if it makes that cross through, it's cruising right there, and I think it's going to. Not sure if they had anything happening. Or they turned the corner on October 3rd is all it said, but I think they are. And again, this one's beat down pretty good too. I mean, its lows were down here in the fives, what, 467. We're sitting at 561 in the after hours, but not looking bad. Your 20 and 50 are meeting up. It looks like it wants to move. And that is QS and looking good. IONQ. That's IONQ Inc., and that's a computer hardware company in the US. and it's just kind of flat, and I see why. It's just between its resistance at 959 and its support right there at 902. It's sitting at 933. And I think you might just get a little trade in between there for like a day or two. Let's look at that tomorrow. It is setting up to be bullish right there. I think it just needs to have another couple days to trade, and it'll be a little bit better right there. And how about CAPR? I mean, we talked about this. It just keeps running up in the top. It was up at like $22, and the thing's just absolutely insane right there. Clearly, you don't want to be chasing it now. I have a feeling you may be seeing it come back and hit that 22.20 in the extended hours. And yeah, I mean, maybe it runs up a little bit more, but wow, what a run that thing had. And again, I was hitting this thing for over 100% 2 years ago. We were talking about it, and it just ended up running for another 100% as we were just talking about it in these last few days. So CAPR, just a monster that ran up right there. CDT, now that was one that we were looking at, Conduit Pharmaceuticals. And I think this one might get some legs this week. Wants to roll up. It was making that base down there. And I mean, it just kept dipping. It's 20 is at 12 and a half cents, and we're close to 10, over 10 cents. We're getting closer to it. We're just kind of watching it. And I think this week, maybe it's week finally for CDT. And that's one we looked at for a while. So keep an eye on that for this week as well. CDT, I think you might be looking decent there. How about if we take a shot at SHOT and see what safety shots doing? That is up 15 cents, down 6, and curling up right there. I think shot might have a shot at running as well. Yeah, that thing wants to jump up right there at that 127. It closed it there and it came down, but I'm not really that concerned about that. On a Friday, let's look. Let me just look and see how it looks on mine with that. Oh yeah, it still looks beautiful. Doesn't even say it closed at 121 there. Yeah, I mean, not really down though. It opened at 112, so I wouldn't say it was down. Um, I would say it's looking pretty good right there. Shot. I think that has a shot to pop tomorrow as well, so keep an eye on that. Let's look at our edible EDBL and see what the edible garden is doing. Was up a penny, up a little more in the after hours. We were looking at this. I think this is going to start having that big hook, and it bottomed out on Thursday at 20 cents. So just look for a little bit of pullback here and there as this one sets up. We know the drill on this kind of look, but you can kind of get the idea that it's going to be bottomed out and it's going to be jumping around. So that one's going to be one to get in and out of. You know, it's going to move around as it's got that fish hook and it's hooking up there. So that's EDBL. APDN, Applied DNA Sciences. And this one was setting up in the right spot, all the way down at that bottom, way down there. And just which one was it that we knew was going to run it, pull back like 3 days and then popped? Damn, I wish I knew offhand. We just went over to whichever one. It was Peggy. There you go. PEGY. Let me look at it. PEGY. And that's exactly the one. Yeah, that's exactly the one that I was thinking of. There we go. So yeah, PEGY. Remember, I was like, oh, it's right there. It's set up. It's set up. It pulled back like a little bit 3 days, and then it ran like a maniac on that one day on Thursday. Well, this thing's trying to do the same thing. APDN, it wants to try to move there. So keep an eye on that one because it's right there. Could have a little bit of pullback. And then all of a sudden, it's just going to curl up and get cruising right off of that thing. So APDN, I think that's going to be a little quick popper for us, uh, possibly tomorrow. So you guys can look at that thing early in the morning as well. LGMK, let's look at it. That's Logic Mark, right? Yeah, Logic Mark is down 2 cents, up 5% in the after hours. So it's down 17%, up 5 in the after hours. Coming down to the bottom and that line, I'm gonna have to look at Logic Mark. It was looking good the other day. And let's see. I mean, it could roll off of there. I don't know. I have to get a look at this one in the morning to get a better idea. LGMK. I'm just looking at bouncing off that bottom there, hitting the line pretty hard. And your 20s right there. It's got that there. 20s at 15. We're at 11. Yeah, I'd have to look at this one in the morning. And I mean, could it bounce up? It could. It looks like it wants to pull back some more. If I had to take a guess, but like I said, that one I'd probably have to look at in the morning to get a better idea of LGMK. Is that BE? Oh yeah, Bloom Energy. Okay. Up 18 cents now. Bloom Energy looks nice. I would look at this one for sure. Um, the 50s right there at 11.17. This one's sitting at $10.90 in the after hours, but looking nice right there. I think this one tries to run this week. BE. Just watch for any pullback because it did run up a little bit. So you might be able to get a little bit of a better price on it. But and it ran what? It opened at 10.75 on Friday, got up to 11.04, and its low was 10.46. So just look for anything around there. And it's 20 and it's supports at like 10.38. It's 50 is sitting at 11.17. And BE looks like it wants to be pretty good to go up. So keep an eye on that one as well. LTRX. I know we've looked at that one before. And this thing is just pulling back there. It looks like your 20 ran up over it actually, and the 50's coming down or coming underneath of it. Um, Trying to set up has a lot of support down there in the 350s. That's not a problem. Has a lot of resistance up here in the fours too. So let's get a good look at it. It looks like it's just trying to pull back there, LTRX. Hold on, let me take a look here and get a better look, LTRX. Yeah, I think it just has some pullback there. And maybe we come back down to like the 380s right there and then touch there possibly to try to bounce back. And that would be your 50 right around there. So just look LTRX to try to pull back a little bit and then get set up there. WDC is Western Digital Corp. And that is down 23 cents. This is at 66.35, 66.30 in the after hours. I'll tell you what, though, it pulled back. It ran up the other day on September 26 over $71. And now we're hitting that line pretty hard, but it's coming down to the 22. I mean, this is an interesting look as well. And I'd probably have to look at this. It looks like it curled through in my chart going in the after hours going down. But one of them looks where it could pull itself up if the market's really hot or this thing wanted to on tomorrow's opening. So we'll have to take a look at that one. On the third, I had some I don't even know Western digital advances while market declines. So I'm not sure. Just saying that it was moving up a little bit and bullish, and it does look pretty good. I just am curious. It pulled back through there. Maybe it's going to set back up. I don't know. We'll have to look at WDC and get a better look at that. Let's look at Children's Place. Remember that one ran way up there for us over $19 and we looked at it right before it ran at like $6. So that one ran up significantly. It cruised all the way to the top, ran up there. It's coming down your 20s, still cruising up on it. And it looks like it had to pull back, curl down. I think you get moving again on PLCE. I would just wait though, just to make sure that it's not going to pull back a little bit for you. Um, but yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the MACD is coming down, and we see that look could just be forming that base right there, and you can find that best price right there. It looks like it's trying to between like 14s, oh 06, like say 14 and 15.25. So just look at them 14s and try to catch it in the lowest price that you can. And your 20s coming up to like $14. So if you can catch it off of that 20, you'll probably be in good shape for PLCE. And that's one that ran real nice for us before. CETK, what is that? CET, hold on. X, I think, right? Yeah, CETX. Okay. Couldn't read my writing. Down 55 cents. Oh, this one was that one that split the other day on October 3rd. Now I remember this guy. Um, And then the fourth, it came down a little bit more. It opened at 185, got up to 228. Its low is 171, and it's at 201 in the after hours. And it came back down. It says, let me take a better look at CETX and tell you what it's going to do here. I mean, yeah, it's just pulling back there. Hmm. Interesting, huh? Had the split. Well, I guess it did run up on the split, didn't it? It got up to 349 the day it split and then it pulled back. Yeah, we're gonna have to watch this bad boy pull back a little bit more and see if it wants to bounce up. It's right in that spot where it could bounce up. I don't think it will tomorrow. Maybe I'm completely out of my mind and wrong, but it just doesn't look like it wants to after it pulled back and ran up on the split. So I would say we're gonna have to look at CETX to just see it set up a little better. But I would look at it in the morning just to see if it wants to bounce off of that spot, but I don't think it does. It doesn't look like it to me. PW Power right. Down 35 cents, up three in the air. Oh, this one was that one that ran up. I know this one was up in the morning, 275. I think it even got higher than that, didn't it? PW. Oh, what am I typing in? PW. Here we go. 275, opened at 203, and its low is 131. It closed at 139. Um, yeah, this ran way up there. I do remember this bad boy. Think that you're gonna be coming down. It hit that top unless it gets a nice bounce going back up. I don't know about that. And we looked at this one right before it ran as well, PW, and I think it's gonna be pulling back there. NLST, is that a OTC? Yeah, it is net list. Let's see what net list is up to. At 115, it looks like it's trying to curl up. Let me see mine. What was it? NLST. Here we go. Oh yeah, it just curled through. Looking good right there, huh? One at like 114 and a half right there. Got up to 117. But yeah, that one looks pretty good to try to move some more. That's an OTC one, so I don't really mess with them too much, but that one does not look bad for the two charts that I can see it on. And that's NLST. And it's like I said, an OTC. And my two charts don't look bad for it. NMHI is at Nature's Miracle, up a penny. This one, another one we looked at a while ago, was pulling back here and did bounce off the bottom yesterday on Friday. It opened at what, 12 cents in the 12s and it got up to 14, over 14 and a half. Its 20s at like 15. It pulled back a little bit in the after hours, but this one looks like it wants to keep that momentum going up. So watch this one as well, NMHI, and that's at Nature's Miracle Holding. And you remember we looked at this about 3 weeks ago, and it is starting to cruise. So keep your eye on NMHI, Nature's Miracle Holding. And I have a feeling that one wants to get moving some more as well. Here's another one we looked at, GSIW. This is a Hong Kong one. We looked at it and it ran up there and then it pulled back. It's doing the old big fish hook and it's hitting that line. And I'm telling you what, I think these Hong Kong ones are gonna get cruising there. So GSIW, I would be looking at this to try to curl through and run. This one's had some pretty nice runs. September 12th ran up to 1230 and then after it pulled back a little bit on the 19th, it ran up to 835. So this thing could have another run up and it basically a couple days and runs, couple days and runs. So keep an eye. It's hitting that line, trying to cross through right now, GSIW. So we will look at it. Is that ABAT? American Battery Technology Company. Let's look at this bad boy. It looks like it's trying to curl up real nice right there. Hold on, ABAT. Let's look at that. Yeah, I think that one looks real nice. I know that's a laptop travel. I ended up putting his list over there just so I knew what it was. And so yeah, A-bat, that looks good. That looks like it's about to take a bat up and be swinging for the fences because it's curling up off that 20 and everything, looking really good. It did pull back there on the 25th down to 80 cents. and uh and then right after that started cruising up, and now you're sitting in a good spot on ABAT, ABAT, AKTS. That's one we were looking at before it ran up a little bit and then decide to pull back some. Let's see what it's doing because that 20 is trying to curl up for it. I could see this running up there at the like 8 cent area and then just jumping around right there in between that channel. The 20 is coming up. Let me just take a better look at it on the after hours AKTS. And it just kind of flat, but it does look like it wants to try to roll up a little bit. Like I said, it wants to get into the 8 cent area. Oh, it did in the after hours anyway. What did it say? Yeah, it does. I mean, it looked like it wanted to. It is in the 8 cents. But it looks like it does want to try to move up there. I don't know if it's going to break through to 50 tomorrow. That's at 0.0831 or 0.0831. Yeah. And I'm not so sure it's going to break through that. Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's going to get popping just yet. I think it may take a day or two for AKTS. But another one to keep an eye on, AUMN is one we were looking at. And these precious metals, yeah, this one did pop up the other day on the 27th. I remember 43 cents. And I think this one's going to get cruising a little higher too. Had that weird look, but your 20's coming up for it. Let me just take a better look at AUMN. And yeah, I mean, it looks like it wants to stair step right up there. So another one, and these precious metals and mining, when you get in the wars and stuff, they start cruising them bad boys. So keep your eye on that one as well. BMRA, that's that Biomerica one. It was down. I remember it dipped pretty good the other day, but I'm telling you what, that 20's coming around for it right now, and it's got that hard line coming down. I have a feeling this week's going to be its week. It's over. It's crossed over, just running flat. Let me just take a better look at BMRA. Yeah, it's gonna roll right off of that, cruise off of there, and get moving. So I have a feeling this one's gonna try to move this week. We're just gonna look at it tomorrow to make sure it wants to stay set up and looking good. But BMRA, I think, is gonna be one possibly for this week or next week, by the latest. So BNGO, let's see what that's up to. It was up 2 cents. Feel like I'm singing to my little guy right there. Um, but it is not bingo, it's just BNGO. So here we go. BNGO looks like some bingo's about to happen here. The 50's at 47 cents. And I'll tell you what, this thing wants to curl up and get cruising right over that 47 cents. So watch it get in the 48s and start moving. BNGO, I think, is going to be a runner for that one. So watch BNGO to try to run up right there. And we'll go right from bingo, BNGO. We'll go right to Bolt and see what Bolt's going to do. If he wants to bolt up. Oh, wow. What is Bolt? We'll just call this what's that dude's name? Usain Bolt or whatever. This one's gonna run like him. This one looks crazy. It's 50s right there at 67. It's got a bunch of weird looks. It took that nice dip on the 26 down to that 54 and a half, and it is curling up. I gotta see this thing. What is it? Bolt. How can I forget? Oh, let me type it in right. Bolt looks good. And again, this is Laptop Travels list right here. I know that. And Bolt looks like it wants to bolt. So again, watch it. 67 cents right there is a 50. And once it gets over, and it should this week, it's gonna bolt. And it's gonna be pretty quick little run right there. So watch for Bolt. And yeah, the bottom this Friday was 63 cents, right where it's at. So that 20 is right at 62 and a half. See if you can get it there because then it's going to bolt. And that's BOLTFEAM, FEAM 5E Advanced Materials, Specialty Chemicals. We were looking at this. It did jump up some. Ran up on Thursday pretty good. Looks like it might be just kind of pulling back a little bit just to set up and make more room. So keep an eye on this one. Let me see what it did in the after hours for that FEAM. Yeah, I think it just kind of pulled back right there just to make a little room to set up. So I'll keep an eye on that this week, and could be a nice one as well. FRSX, Foresight, Anonymous Holdings, 70 cents. It was down just a hair there. Let's see. It just has that weird look and sat itself right in the right spot. It's just like, tell me to run and I'll run. FRSX is one to look at in the morning, guys, because that one looks like it wants to get cruising up to here. It's at 70. Looks like it wants to get up to that 75, 77, and or 80. So it looks like it wants to jump up, is what I'm saying. And look at it when it hits this 20 or the 50 at 77, and then the hard support resistance at 80. My brain's like fried right now. I keep saying everything backwards. Let me do it again so I don't confuse anyone. So your 20, it's sitting right there at 70. Your 50 is right there at 76. And you have a hard resistance at 80. So look at them prices. But this one looks like it wants to try to move this week. Probably it's sitting right there. So, oh yeah, this is an Israeli auto parts. There you go. Thank you, Laptop Travel, for filling me in real quick. There you go. So yeah, keep an eye on that one. Israel. I'm telling you, we'll go through some Israeli ones as well. I wonder how many they have on here. Oh, they only have 6 pages of 20. So what is it? Let me see. They have 109, so not too crazy. We can try. We'll roll through the Hong Kong ones because I think they're more set up. We'll look at the Israeli ones. We can do that another night as well. But let's keep on cruising. We're almost through these. We'll do the big caps and then we'll hit some Hong Kongs. We have to look at crypto and look at what's going to be popping on the scanner as well. So let's take a look at GRFX. GRFX. Let's see what you're up to. What you're going to do this week here. Oh, this one was running up. It honestly got up to the top, and it looks like it was just hit the top and it pulled back so it can get rolling more. I would definitely look at this one for a momentum play in the morning because if this thing gets in the top, guys, it's going to cruise. It did jump up there. GRFX, what did it get up to in the after hours? 40. What's this say? It says it's at 31. So yeah, it did jump up in the extended area. It looked like it wanted to. Keep an eye on it. If it wants to keep running it, like I said, it got up to where to get up to 40 cent area. It's at 30. So if it can get back up to that 40 and actually moving, it'll cruise. But it did run up there in the extended hours on Friday in the after hours there. It looked like it wanted to. So we may have to just be careful with that one. But it did look like it wanted to, and it did, according to mine. And again, FinViz doesn't give you that exact look. So I'm just seeing what it wanted to do, and then I hop over to mine and see what it did, and basically did what it said it wanted to do. It just did it right in the extended hours. Didn't even give us until Monday. So there you go with GRFX. But again, if it gets over that 40 cents, it could be a mover. HCTI, that's healthcare triangle. This one's setting up in a good spot as well. So, real good spot right there. Just watch for its resistance at 54. But yeah, this one should, I would imagine that 20 gets curling up, has that hard line coming down, and has everything going for it right there. HCTI. So, keep an eye on that because it looks good. JOB, the G group. I know that I'm familiar with this one. I probably said I'd trade this one before. And it is trying to get set up there at that the 20s right there, trying to come for it at the 25 cent area. I mean, it's built a nice base down here, honestly, at 25. I know it was in the 40s before, because like I said, in the 60s and 80s, because I've traded this one before. So seeing it at 25 cents, it's definitely a bargain down here because I did trade this one quite a bit, and glad I don't have. I'm glad I never held this one because I know I had sold it in like the 60s and 80s, and now I'm looking at it at a quarter, so 25.5 cents. And yeah, I think it might be coming down to roll off that MACD is what it appears to me. So I'll have to keep an eye on JOB and maybe give it a good trade this week. So I will keep an eye on that one. I am very familiar with it. NIVF. Let's look at it. It is up 3 cents, down two in the after hours. Oh, this one looks really good. This could be a popper in the morning, guys. NIVF. Let me see what it did in the after hours before I say that. Oh, yeah. Look at that one in the morning, guys. That one looks really good to try to cruise. Taiwan stock and only had 9,000 in volume, but woo, is it looking good right there. NIVF, keep an eye on it. SCLX, that's up 12 cents. This one still looks pretty good and it was up 12 cents. Let me see what it did in the after hours here. SCLX. Oh, SCLX. Yeah, I mean, this thing looks solid. This is another one I keep an eye on in the morning for a little movement to try to keep going, guys. So SCLX and it's got up to that 20s at like 96 cents. It's right there. Your 50s at like 116. You have some move right there, some room. So take a look. SLE, that's Super League Enterprise. That one we looked at when it was down here, and this one's cruising up and it looks like it wants to keep going as well. So just another one we looked at the other day, and SLE is getting moving, and it probably should get up to that 102. It's at 89 cents, and it looks like it wants to get to 102. So look for that to move as well. WKSP. Well, let me type it in. WKSP. Work Sport. Oh, that one has a crazy candle. Um, yeah, I would look at this one in the morning. It might just want to trade between here to 57 and 45 just for a few days to get set up. But that WKSP, it jumped up Friday. Let me look and see what it did in the after hours, get a better idea right there. Yeah, it did jump up there. It got up to 61 cents. So I'd have to look at this. It could pull back a little, but it did run up more in the after hours. So I'd have to take a look at that one in the morning. And YI, let's look at that one. 111 Inc. And that's a China medical distribution company. And this one, guys, look at this one in the morning for sure. YI. And I think we did look at it because I remember the name. And it ran up on Friday. But looks like it wants to get up in that top right there and really run for a momentum play for you. So take a look at YI for a little momentum play right there. And I just saw Laptop Travel shot over some Hong Kong tickers, so we're going to take a look at them as well. Let me just take a look at everything else real quick. Um, Luis Rodriguez, ASML. Let's look at that bad boy, ASML. Let's see what that's doing for us. ASML Holdings up 59 cents, $833 stock. But I'll tell you what, it looks like it wants to curl up and get moving. And it is super bullish setting up with that base. Let me see this guy, ASML. Yeah, I like this. Luis Rodriguez, ASML. That looks like a good option play right there. So take a look at that, guys. ASML. We can even jot that down under here, under BlackRock ASML. That one looks good. And AVGO. Let's see that one. Broadcom Semiconductors, $176. And this one, oh, that one looks like it really wants to roll off of that MACD and get cruising. You have that hard resistance at 178 and then more at 180. Let me see what it did in the after hours for you real quick, just to get a better idea. Because it looks like, yeah, the thing looks like it wants to roll off and go nuts. I almost think it wants to go through that 180 with no problem, Lewis. So just if it's green, if it's moving tomorrow, it's probably going to get through that 180 AVGO. And that is your technology semiconductor company in the US. And yeah, looking solid right there. I like both of them. So there you go. Sean wants to look at KITT and CERO. So there we go. No problem, Shell 12. Appreciate you sending in some good stock tickers this evening. Let's look at KITT. Um, this is one we looked at a little while back. And it did run for us. It split. We looked at it during that split time. And now it looks like it's setting back up, guys. So your 20s right there at the 149 has that great look. It's hooking. It looks like it's going to pull it right up there. So yeah, I'm going to jot down KITT as well and probably add that to the list. Keep an eye on this. Let me look at it in the after hours here. Says it went down, but it looks good to me. Nah, 144. I don't see that. So this says 138, and I didn't see it on the charts. Just looking at this, and it's funny, like, okay, I'll give you a quick example, real quick. This one, so FinViz tells me 141. It closed at 141. In the aftermarket, it says it was down 3 cents to 138. That's what it's telling me. And again, it's the FinViz Elite. It should have everything. And I'm just looking at this chart going, and it didn't close at 138. It didn't look like that because I can look at this chart for 2 seconds and tell. So then I hop over to mine, and it closed at 144 and looks the way it should have looked. So just like that, and I'm not trying to brag or I'm just telling you what I look at real quick. It just gives me that idea. And I mean, 3 seconds, I'm like, something's not right there. So immediately I went and looked and said, yeah, that looks more like what it should look like. And boom. So yeah, FinViz has been way off lately. I'm not gonna lie. And I think a lot of it has to do with, well, the after hours shouldn't really affect it because it was always pretty accurate all the way up until 8 p.m. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. And but yeah, the trend spider's obviously way more on point. And so yeah, you gotta, and again, I'm just looking at this thing, just knowing that it didn't close like that in the after hours. So that was KITT, and here you go. I'll put the chart up for you. Laptop Travel just posted it, and you can just get a good look at it real fast. But yeah, I just took a quick peek at it and was just like, doesn't look right to me. And again, the FinViz has just been off a little bit. Clearly, it's a great chart, and even the free service, I think it's behind 15 minutes or something. It's not the end of the world, trust me. I like it for the extended hours is what I really pay for it for, and I guess for the up-to-date time as well, but yeah, it's just been way off. It was never this off like this. And again, I guess the Web Bull, I don't know why, but it's just crazy. Oh, Web Bull shows KITT at 138 as well, so that's crazy. And then mine shows it at 144. So that's weird. What does Trend Spider show it at, I wonder? Scott, if anyone wants to look at Trend Spider real quick, I'll pull it up real fast I'm curious now. Trend Spider and KITT. Not Trend Spider. What's the other one? I always mix it up. What the heck is it? I have it in my phone. Hold on. Let me look. What's the other? Trading View. That's it. Trading View. Trading View. I wonder what that one says. Just curious to be honest with you. KITT. Let me just look. I'd scroll down and try to find where you can search for something. Let me just click on here it is. KITT. Here we go. What this one say? 141. That's funny, isn't it? That's kind of crazy, guys. So there you go. So yeah, the Web Bull shows 138 and Trend Spider and Trading View both show at 141. No, Trading View shows 144. No, Trading View shows 141 and Trend Spider shows 144. FinViz shows 138 and Web Bull shows 138. So there you go. I sometimes I say it often, like it just doesn't make any sense to me, especially with the volume. Like they're always different. It's like, isn't there just one volume that they should all just pick up on? But they're always all different. And and here you see a little bit of a price difference. You would just think it closes at a price. These are all algorithm runs, so it would just pick up the price that it ended at, and everything would be the same. But clearly, it's not, and it's just another part of the market that you just navigate around and pivot around, and you keep it in your mind, like, hey, I know I get a couple different looks. I got to figure out which one might be the best, or just wait till the morning to see what it's going to do. But just kind of an interesting thing that we just got four different prices like that. And but it is looking bullish. At the end of the day, that's all we care about. It looks like it's rolling off that MACD, going up in the 20s, curling it up. And it does have that hard support underneath of it. So it does look good. And that's all we really, at the end of the day, care about. So there you go. And Laptop Travel did a nice 15-minute chart there for us. So And TradingView isn't show. Oh, they didn't show. Okay, sorry. I just clicked on TradingView and assumed that it was the after hour, so it's not showing it. So that was showing um here 141, and that's not the after. So it says they closed at 141. Mine says 144, and like I said, FinViz does say it closed at 141, and then the after hours went down to 138. And you said that Web Bull said 138. So just interesting. Maybe it is at 138 and Trend Spider's off. So who the hell knows? Very intriguing, but you have to almost assume that Web Bull is going to be the most accurate. Sometimes I go on to the E-Trade just to look because you're like, well, the platform pretty much has to be, the most accurate because they're actually buying and selling the security. So they pretty much have to be on point. And sometimes you have to, rely on that when the charts are all different. But just interesting. And again, it's just a penny stock, but just something that we look at. And again, we just take it into account and that's it. But we'll look at it. Like I said, it looks like it wants to roll off the MACD. I just posted a couple of the charts for it and they do look good. But yeah, it's just kind of odd right there. And so sorry that we went down that little hole, but it was just kind of weird that they were all showing me something different. Like I said, it just the FinViz just looked like it should have been up, and then mine look says it's up, but then they all say they came back down. So I have no idea, but we'll look at it first thing in the morning. I'm actually gonna I already wrote it down, so I just put some dots next to it just so it catches my eye because now I'm curious what it's going to do in the morning. CERO looks good too. Uh, who posted them? Sean? Yeah, CERO looks really good. Another one we had looked at before. It did run up that one day on the 20th. That was like almost a month, nah, not even a month ago, a couple weeks ago. And so yeah, the CERO, that 20's coming right under it and it's sitting right over that MACD. Kind of just flat look right there on Friday, which isn't a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of had a flat look. I would assume it's going to open up probably better on tomorrow morning. And there you go. We got some bar charts coming up and all. And Scott said that Moo showed 143 close. So yeah, them prices are all over the place. So we just looked at like five different, very accurate sources generally, and they're all somewhere's different. So KITT, we're just gonna say we're gonna look at it in the morning. It looks like it wants to curl off that MACD and get moving again. We're just not exactly sure where it's at right at this moment or where it closed Friday, but we'll get a good look at it tomorrow morning. It won't be a big deal. And it does look like it's setting up for another run. And CERO, like I said, had that flat look, but is right in that right spot where that one wants to get set up as well. So we'll even write that one down under KITT for tomorrow morning. And we can look at both of them again, Sean. So there you go with them two guys. And let me just make sure that I'm not missing anything. I think I got all that. CCTG, we got that. And them bad boys. All right. Perfect. Thank you. And beautiful. So now let's hit crypto real quick. And then we have our laptop travel sent over some good Hong Kong ones, and I know he knows them pretty well, very well actually. So we'll rip through them because I'm telling you, the sector looks set up, and there's obviously 60 of them. So we'll go through laptop travels real quick and just he picked them out for us. So that worked out beautifully. Thank you, Laptop Travel. So let's look at crypto real fast because I'm telling you, that was looking great. I was watching it all weekend, and Bitcoin is back at 63, guys, and it's looking good. And yeah, I mean, it's just one of them things where it just kind of made that base and now it's curling up. It's going through that MACD again. Ethereum's at 2,507, and that thing's getting back to the 50. It wants to jump back up. They want to curl through. I think tomorrow is going to be a solid day. Ripple's looking like it wants to get ripping again, finally curling up one of them big old curls too. They just made a lot of good room on the chart. Solana's back at 150 and looking solid off of that. I mean, it jumped right off the 50, right over to 100. I mean, it was a beautiful jump for Solana. Doge is at like 11 and a half and wants to get back over to 12 so and get moving. They all look really solid right there. And which one else? We'll do our bonk, of course, BONK. Let me know if anyone else wants to see. I'll look at Ethereum. Someone did want to look at Ethereum. That was the one. Oh yeah, bonk wants to curl off. It didn't even get through. It just wants to roll off hardcore. So that one's going to be a nasty roll off. And yeah, Ethereum 2,500 and we did look at that, and oh yeah, no, it's hitting the 50 and it's gonna get up there. It's oh yeah, it's curling up really nice there. So Ethereum looks good, Solana, Bitcoin, Ripple, Doge. I mean, we're looking solid right there on our crypto report for Sunday night. They usually don't look that good on a Sunday night like that, and they're looking really solid. So we're happy about that for sure. So let's roll through our big caps real quick, see what's going on, and then we'll look at some Hong Kong stocks. Call it a night for our Sunday because we're going to be super set up for tomorrow. We know what's going on, and boom. So here we go. And I appreciate everybody hanging out, of course. Laptop Travel, Little Iron Man, Scott RD, Luis Rodriguez, Sanaya, Patrick, Sean. There was a lot more people. And I know there's some Sunday night games on and Sunday nights getting kids ready and all that good stuff. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in, checks out the replays, and sends in stock tickers. I always appreciate it. And Patrick just signed on. So how are you, Patrick? And here we go. Let's take a look at the big caps. The SPY did close up on Friday. It was up 5.16. It came down like 57 cents in the after hours. But like I said, the thing was setting up super bullish. We just didn't know. And it did. It curled down. Now it's making that hard curl up. And these things just want to get crazy right now. And kind of like I was telling you about 2, 3 months ago, you could see 2 to 3 months out what was going to happen. And like I said, you can kind of see what's about to happen. I mean, if anyone looked at Butler, PA, what that turnout looked like, or the and Elon showed up for it for Trump. If you look at that turnout, and if that doesn't tell you something, holy cow, that thing was crazy. They had like over 60,000 people packed in that thing. It was insane. And like I keep telling you, it's not being political. I'm just telling you, it should be the biggest landslide in this country's history. And I'm telling you from the charts. And I told you 2, 3 months ago, and now you can really start seeing them set up. So yeah, if it sets up like this and they keep moving and we're in that direction, we could be really starting to show at the right time. I can tell you that because I'll tell you what, the last time that he was in office. I think I already told you we were having $10,000 days daily, almost every single day was rolling like that without a problem. I mean, it was simple, and yeah, it was wild. And then you hit these last couple of years, and it was a train wreck. And you tried to, and I'll tell you where the problem lied yeah, you were in a COVID rut, but the market was still looking good. And then all of a sudden you had an administration hop in, and immediately I was saying, of course you can't tell immediately, but within 6 to 8 months you can tell. And I started saying, is anybody even doing anything? And you seen my post from 2 years ago and even 3 years ago, I was calling it out, and you could just tell on the chart certain things have to do certain things at certain times. I can immediately tell when something's up. I think you guys can tell, and yeah, I'll call it out immediately. And I was saying, this needs to take place, this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and there was just crickets. And if you go back and look at my post from 3 years ago, you'll see it. I was writing this stuff, and so yeah, you can tell the way the things are supposed to line up, and that's how I get an idea. And but yeah, you could tell through 2, 3 months ago what was going on. But let's roll through these big caps. We're not trying to get political, obviously. I'm just telling you what I see, and that's the way it looks. So let's roll through and see what happens. GameStop, GME, this one's up 20 cents, so down a little bit in the after hours. Coming back to that line, I have a feeling this thing's gonna bounce off that MACD and get cruising again. It looks like everything wants to start moving once again. AMC, it was all the way down at that bottom. I have a feeling Thursday was going to be its bottom right there at 429, and Yeah, the 20's coming down. That's at 468. You're only like 20 cents off. I have a feeling AMC looks like it wants to start curling back up this week. Let me just take a look at AMC and see what it did in the after hours. Yeah, you're gonna get this bad boy to start curling up this week. So I would start looking at some options on AMC starting this week, and I definitely will be. CHWY Chewy. Another one's going to start curling up probably this week and looking good. So you probably had your bottom on Wednesday at 27.65, and that one's going to be good. Nvidia. So now let's get into our Mag 7 here because I'm telling you, these things are going to get nutty. Nvidia is about to get crazy as soon as I mean, it's setting up super bullish, and you have that little channel between 125 and 118. And so you could see a little bouncing around there this week. But you are going to get so bullish on this thing, it's going to get ridiculous on the video. Apple's going to get crazy. I mean, it's setting up to get really wild. Apple, and again, hitting the line really hard right there. I don't, even if it crosses down, it might not even hurt. It'll come down to 222 and it'll just get cruising right there. So, Apple, we'll watch it in the morning just to see what it wants to do, but setting up so bullish that it doesn't even matter what it does. Google, another one at 168 up $1.35 and just about to go nutty. So keep your eye on Google. Amazon, AMZN, that was up 455, came down 30 cents. And this one, remember, had crossed down. It crossed down. We knew it was pulling back. We said it was. And now you're going to get that cross up going back up. And once it sits right at that, like right where it's at, basically, it wants to start moving. You could get a little pullback, jump around for a day or two. And then Amazon's going to get moving. And Meta. I mean, Zuckerberg just became like the second richest person on the planet. So that's at 595.94. Do you see when I posted? I called this thing at $80 2 years ago, and I was telling everybody. I told you guys before, not that we were doing a show. I was telling you a story. I was telling everybody I knew, yo, this thing is gonna. You don't see Meta at $80, and nobody wanted. I remember it was when the what was the virtual reality or whatever stupid stuff he had going on that just fell apart and collapsed and he lost like $1 billion or whatever. And I said, guys, do you think Zuckerberg's about to lose? Like this dude, that kind of loss for him, for a guy like him, is humbling. And it took him 2 years, but the dude changed his entire appearance and everything and just became the second richest person in the world. So all you had to do was bet on him and at $80 a stock, and now you're sitting at almost $600 a stock. So there you go. It was up. My call was up over 500%, $500, and that's a very big cap meta. You don't see big cap calls for over 500% on a straight stock call ever anywhere on the planet. I can tell you that right now. You just don't see it. And yeah, I pulled one of them off too. So there you go. We love the market. We love the bottoms, and we know it's going to move. And yeah, I have a couple friends of mine because I had some, and I had a couple friends say, "Holy shit, dude! I should have definitely looked because I've heard of that. It actually reached its all-time highs." And they're like, "Dude, you were talking about that thing when it was under $100." Like, yeah, did you buy any? And they're like, "No." Like, no, you need to listen. But anyway, that's besides the point. Again, that's why I like these big caps anymore because you pick things out like that, and the returns are insane. You don't even have to worry about the penny stock stuff, and trust me, I've done a lot of penny stock trading in my life, and I think it's what really geared me towards the mindset of learning how to trade the exact right way. I'm telling you, we're going to be the best traders on the planet. And when you can put our chart skills together with becoming the best traders, I mean, just think what kind of outcome you can have when you do something like that. So it's obviously life changing, and that's what this show's all about, and that's what we obviously promote, and that's what we do. So again, it's all about finding the best opportunities at the best time and nailing them down, and that's what we do best on this show. All of us, honestly. That's You guys send in a ton of great stock tickers. I just cruise through them, and we just pick out what works and what doesn't, and it seems to work out great for everybody. And so here we go. That's meta, and again, smashed it from $80 up to almost 600 right there. So pretty wild. And again, I had called Nvidia at 185, and it ran up to like 1300 pre-split price. So that was a pretty significant one too. I believe that was over 500% if I'm correct on that. And yeah, so two of the biggest big caps right there for over 500%. So there you go. That was Meta. Microsoft, down 48 cents. We knew this was pulling back as well. It's going to hit this support line right here at 413. Might even got down 414. It's right there. And this is going to start bouncing up a little bit, just jumping around, setting up super bullish for Microsoft. So that'll get moving too. And then our buddy Tesla, good old Tesla, up 942. And I'm telling you, this thing just wants to get crazy. It did crawl through going down, so we'll watch for it to try to pull back a little bit. Your 20s at like 241. And again, this thing was up over 260s. Remember, I said from 240 it was going to hit the 260. It got to 261, might even got a hair higher, I forget. But 263, I thought so. And now you're just going to have a little bit of pullback, and we're going to set up, and then this thing's going to get into the 280s and just keep on cruising. So Tesla's going to move, and let's look at the rest of these guys. Nike was up 15 cents, and that one's pulling back there. You got great support at 81, so you're going to get cruising relatively soon on Nike. Rivian, we knew this is pulling back, and we're just watching it. We watch this all the time. And yeah, just let it keep pulling back there. We'll know exactly when it's ready. It's gonna get ready pretty soon. It tried to like 2 weeks ago, and we looked at it, and I'm looking at the date. I'm looking at the candle right here on September 11th. I guess that wasn't 2 weeks ago, a little longer than 2 weeks ago, but I remember it looked like it was ready. And then that 12th and 13th, and then all of a sudden we said, nah, it's gonna pull back. And you want to know what price it was at? It was at its high then was what, 13.99, and we're looking at it at 10.40. So that's how we read it. And like I said, we'll hit Rivian from the bottom up. When it's ready to roll, we'll hit that one. PLTR just keeps cruising up higher. Not something I would ever chase, but a momentum play every day almost. So, I mean, if it's up in the morning, you can watch it for a momentum, but I don't suggest chasing that. Sophie, remember I said that was going to get cruising. Kind of jumped up faster than I thought on Friday. Maybe it'll pull back a little bit. It's about to try to cross through. I think it even did. But even if it runs up, it's going to get into like the 860s and have to pull back a little bit. But Sophie's about to take off as well. SOFI, Oxy, OXY up 97 cents. We knew that the gas and oil were going up as well because we said that, and ExxonMobil were moving. So ExxonMobil is XOM, and that was up 225. And these things are getting up into the top. Nothing that you might not want to chase, maybe momentum plays, but we knew they were going up from when they were down pretty low. Snow, SNOW, that was moving. Oh, yeah. Remember, I told you this thing was going to cruise? It was up 425 on Friday. It's exactly what we said on Thursday night. And bam, there's your snowflakes. So Dell, let's look at that. That was up 475. Oh, man, that one's setting up super bullish too. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have a field day tomorrow buying some options. AMD we knew was going up. That jumped up faster than we probably thought it was. But although we knew it was curling up and getting up on that price, I remember saying if it got up on that 166, it would probably run. It's at 170. So NIO was pulling back. It looks like it wants to try to get moving again. So we'll keep an eye. That's a Chinese auto manufacturer. Had a huge run already, so we've got to be careful with that. Space SPCE. I think this thing is about to get cruising, guys. So watch for space, aerospace and defense. and Virgin SPCE Virgin Galactic. I think we're gonna get crazy with that one. Intel, I think, is about to get nutty now. It was pulling back, and I think you're gonna get a roll off and end up seeing it get up to the $30 range right there. And that's a semiconductor, and people are trying to buy it, but I doubt that's going to happen. Disney's back to $95 and going to get into the $100 range with no problem. And SMCI, that was down a little bit. I'm definitely going to be looking at options on this as well because this one's about to get cruising, I think. We're going to look at it in the morning, see how it's setting up. That's what I was waiting for, but I think that has some potential. Mara, MARA, I think Mara and Riot are great ones to look at right now because I'm telling you, crypto is getting ready to rock. And yeah, Riot was looking good already. It's already up a bunch from when we were looking at it the other day. And DJT, let's see what he's doing. Up 33 cents on Friday, sitting in the right spot. Going to get cruising, super bullish up here. It's going to end up going to 20 the 25 and then the 33. So you're at 16. I would say you're going to double in price in the next probably month on DJT. So just keep your eyes on that. And Funware, that's probably going to get rolling really nice and be really fun very soon. So PHUN and Coinbase is probably looking really good because crypto is looking good. If I could type the damn thing in, what am I doing? I have my fingers on wrong. COIN. Yeah, it's getting rolling off and just about to go flying there. And of course, our BlackRock is down a little bit, but let's just wait for this. Let it pull back for once and get back down to the 920s. And I'm telling you, I'm going to run options on that thing too because it's just simple. And there you go. And of course, we're going to look at our the laptop travels Hong Kong one. So let me just bring up that list real quick. I can X out of that guy. And let's take a quick look at them. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And we did do edible. Someone just posted something about that. And boom, let me check out the laptop travel. Here we go. I'll just roll through these bad boys real quick. How's that? ATGL, because I have a feeling we're just going to need a quick look. ATGL, holy cow, this thing's been running up like a maniac. And you're probably going to have a pretty good momentum play in the morning on ATGL. CCTG. Is that the one we did? That's the one we already did. I know that. And that one was pulling back, it looked like. So, but it had already run up. CHNR, that's at China Natural Resources. I know we've gone over this and it went down. I remember I looked at this Friday. It had pulled back, but it says it went up in the after hours. And I was going to say, this thing looks like it was setting up. That was some nice pullback. Let me look. Oh, yeah, that was a real nice pullback right there to hit that line. So, that says it's at 80 cents right there. That's what it says here in the after hours. And 80 cents would be right there. And so that completely reversed. So yeah, CHNR is probably going to be looking really good. It's hard to tell. Even mine it doesn't really show it too clear. I mean, it shows what happened, but I think it's going to get cruising right there. So CHNR, that was one we've been looking at for like a week or two. CLWT, Euro Tech Holdings. This one's a wild looking chart. It almost hurts my head looking at this thing. Holy cow. Um, yeah, that one looks pretty good too. It looks like it wants to make that hard crawl up and get up over. It gets up over 168. It's at 166. That one's gonna get cruising. FEBO Holdings down 21 cents. This one, hold on, almost looks like it wants to try to pop off of there. I gotta look at this on mine. FEBO. Oh man, that one's an interesting one. Probably have to look at that in the morning. It's like right there. I would have to assume it wants to pop off that MACD, like bounce off of it. I'd have to get a better look at that one, but I would assume that's what it wants to do. We checked out GS, or is that what it is? GSIW. Yeah. We looked at that. I'm telling you, that thing's about to hit the line and get crossing through. Hey, look, I don't know if I looked at it on mine. Did it cross the line? Yeah, I did look at it. I remember seeing it. Didn't, it was just hitting the line right there. So that one's looking great. Um, and has momentum. So Hi Ho, HIHO, Highway Holdings, Hi Ho. It's going to the line and down. This one's actually pulling back a little bit. It could bounce. It could turn back around. It could pull itself up. It was dipping down. It ran up on Wednesday. I'd have to take a look at Hi Ho and see if it wants to hi ho its way back up there. So that's one to look at in the morning. IFBD. All right, IFBD. That's why I can't bring it up. Infobird. Oh, that one looks pretty wild, huh? Yeah, whoa, IFBD. Holy cow, we're writing that one down. IFBD. Take a look at that one, guys, because that one looks really good. INTJ Intelligent Group. I know I've looked at this one before. That one's crawling. Yeah, I know I looked at this because the chart looks all crazy, and I kind of remember something like this. Um, INTJ. Let me look at it. It looks like it wants to start moving up again. Let's see. Yeah, I would take a look at INTJ in the morning as well because that one looks good. That intelligent group looks pretty smart right now. JVSA. Let's see that one. JVSA. Let's see. JVS back acquisition. It looks like it's pulling back there, but it's kind of crazy, guys. It ran in the top. It's got to be a shell. Yeah, it's a shell company. You could just tell by looking at it. It's not that old, but it looks like it wants to keep continuing its way up. I would look for it just to pull back a little bit. It came out of the top and is just pulling back a hair. But another one, I mean, that shell company looks like it's been moving. Although it's not moving a lot, though. It looked like it was moving a lot more. It's just running in 5 cent increments on the chart. And so it started down here at what, like 10:02, and it's up to 10:30 something. So it's moving. It's just not a whole lot, but it is moving up there. MFI, let's see, that one looks good. Yeah, that one looks like it's about to run into the top. You could have a nice momentum play there with MFI. That's MF International. MGIH, Millennium Group International. Oh man, take a look at this thing. Jeez, dude, that thing's set up, huh? That one looks good. Oh my, MGIH. I'm writing that one down. MGIH. I like that one too. That one looks really good to try to run up. MI. NFT LTD. Let's see. Oh my. That one wants to run up into the top some more. Just watch it. God, tomorrow morning, watch this one. MI laptop travel. Keep your eye on this one in the morning. It's at 8:10. It's up 30 cents, but you should be cruising, dude. You could get a nice popper off of that one in the morning. And it probably won't run long, but you will get a nice popper off of MI. So keep your eye on that guy in the morning. It looks nice. It don't pop tomorrow. Definitely look on Tuesday. But I had a feeling it might want to run tomorrow morning. OCG, Oriental Culture Holding. The only reason why it might not run tomorrow is if it just doesn't get started off, right away. It'll hold itself off until Tuesday. But keep an eye on that bad boy. OCG, that one did run up Thursday. I think that might have to pull back a little bit just to set up. Nothing crazy. But yeah, that one's gonna set back up. PMAX. Palmax. That one's new. Whoa, that one's way at the bottom. Might have to look at this one in the morning. It just started in like September. September 5th, actually. Yeah, September 5th, and it opened at 4:30, and it's at 3:07 right now, and took a really nice dip on Friday, it looks like. So I might have to look at that PMAX again just to take a better look and see what it wants to do. PSIG, PS International Group. That one looks like it's trying to get in a good spot there. Oh yeah, keep an eye on this one too as it tries it. It's gonna ride that bottom. I think the 20 is gonna pull that up on you. So PSIG, I think, is gonna get set up. PWM, Prestige Wealth. This one pulled back. I mean, it ran up to the top right there on the first up to what, $1.39, and it's back at 80 cents, but it's in a good spot. I'd wait for it to pull back a little bit more. and get set up again. And that's PWM because it just ran up. Let's look at Ray. Let's look what he's doing. Ray Tech Holding. And Ray is going to try to roll off that MACD. And I have a good feeling Ray's going to do it. Let me look at Ray real quick. RAY. Yeah, I think Ray's gonna get rolling tomorrow, so keep an eye on that. PMax, Laptop Travel said will run up after they complete their over allotment option from their IPO. So that is PMax right there. And yeah, that, like I said, brand new and way nice dip. That'll be a nice one to keep an eye on for sure. I wouldn't argue that one. PMax, we'll keep an eye on that. Um, I just got thrown off. What did I just do? PW. Oh, I just did Ray. That's right. SUGP. Ray was looking good. SU Group is up 18 cents. This one's going to be a mover as well. You keep your eye on this. That's setting up to get cruising to up into the dollar 80s. It's in the dollar 30s right now. And SWIN Swins. Let's see what Swin's doing. SWIN down 43 cents. Just kind of pulling back there. It did run up what, Wednesday it ran up pretty good up to the what, 360. Might have to just see this pull back a little bit and then set up. But there you go with some Hong Kong ones from Laptop Travel. I'm telling you, they look pretty good right there. So keep your eye on it. King wants LGMK. I think we did Logic Mark, but I'll look at it again. Looked like it was just kind of pulling back and hitting that line. I kind of remember I said I'd rather look at it in the morning again to get a better look. It's hitting that bottom and hitting the MACD. I'm just bringing it up on all three charts. On mine, it kind of curl roll. I mean, it's hitting right down there, but it's in a spot where it could really kind of do anything. If I look at it and had to guess where it's at, I would think it's going to roll off of that and try to get moving again. Is just my guess. But again, I would rather look at LGMK in the morning. So hit me up at 7 a.m. We'll definitely look at it. As you know, we'll be on for pre-market, checking things out, and and yeah, maybe we can get a better read. But like I said, it looks like it wants to bounce off that bottom. Doesn't look like it wants to get back in the basement, especially as everything's starting to set back up right now. So there you go, King. Hope that helps out. And I will definitely look at it again. I have no problem with that. I just don't want to tell you one way or the other and not be sure. So let's just take a quick look at anything else. Let me just tell you what's trending real quick on stock twits. MSTR. So that's micro strategy, and that's all about Bitcoin. CLSK, there you go, a clean spark. I know we looked at that one. Bitcoin's up at 63. ASM, Pfizer's on there. Let's look at Pfizer. See, it's at $28.58. Let's see what Pfizer's up to real quick. PFE, all right? Yeah, PFE up 24 cents. Just kind of pulling back, trying to set up. We'll keep our eye on Pfizer, see if it wants to do anything. Pepe's up, Dot, Tesla, Coin, so they're all a couple crypto ones over the weekend. And let me just see one thing real quick. What's earnings tomorrow look like? NAPA is it? Let me look. NAPA, hold on. NAPA, Napa Duckhorn Portfolio. What the heck is that? Beverages, wineries, and distilleries. Napa. Down three, up six. What's this say? 547. Okay. Napa, NAPA. Let me look. Hitting that line right there. It's kind of hard to tell what it wants to do. They've been kind of bouncing right now off of these reports. So I mean, this one's a tough one to tell. It's the earnings for it, but looking at the other ones and how they were setting up like that, I would have to assume that it kind of wants to bounce right there. So we'll look at NAPA tomorrow. Look at that one. There's not a whole lot of earnings this week. Well, at least tomorrow and Tuesday it didn't look like. So we can keep a look at that. And yeah, 4, 6. Yeah, we'll look at the whole week. There's not a whole lot of them. And there you go. I think that's a pretty good Sunday night. Let me make sure I caught everything. There we go. I think we got everything. And thank you everybody for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. I'll be back at 7 a.m. for pre-market. Let me know if you guys want to see anything. And again, always all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. Thank you for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Laptop Travel, RD, Mike Drencalo, Luis Rodriguez, Patrick Godbout, Sean, how are you? Thank you guys. Let me know what you want to see in the morning. Have a good night, and I will catch you guys at 7 a.m. Have a good night, everybody.